Welcome, episode 4 of Free Press Fail. I'm Steph.
I'm Corinne.
And we are so happy to have you. Today we have snake bites. A snake bite is half cider, half beer. This is Strongbow and Guinness. We actually discovered this because we went to the Renaissance Fair, which was a blast and a half. But actually, mainly at the Renaissance Fair, we just stood in line and drank.
Mostly snake bites, yeah.
So that's our experience.
Time
We
well
wore
spent.
flower crowns, though, so that was fun.
Yeah, people had to talk me out of wearing those flower crowns for like the next week and a half, and I still kind of want to wear them.
Yeah, we still have them. We're ready to go. But these are delicious, and we became addicted.
Yeah, amazing.
But we have exciting news. Tell them.
Yeah, we just, right before we started recording, we hit 3,000 followers on Twitter.
3,000! It's so exciting.
Super happy about that, and cheers.
Cheers to you.
And
thank you, guys. We want to double this, though, soon, so get your friends to watch. We're very excited. We got to get this movement going, get people to know how much the free press really F's it up, you know?
Yeah. What the FPF.
What the FPF. Yeah. We have our top news. Still impeachment. Still peach season. We're making peach pies. We got Boogaloo. It's impeachment. It's going on. It's a party. It's a peach party.
Yes. It's actually like so hard to choose the top stories within the impeachment story
There's
because
sub-stories.
There's
like
so many sub-stories
right.
per day. We really had to weed through.
But
we chose our favorites for you. My favorite first, Trump sent out a letter, I think this week, that said that the White House will not be complying with any of the impeachment inquiry proceedings, if that's what we call them. And it was an 8-page letter. I think it really only took about 2 words to say what he said, but he sent an 8-page letter to say that he was not going to be.
I know, but I love and I identify with it because it's like Trump is the angry girlfriend. He sends like a 4-scroll text message like, I don't know why you're acting like this, but this is how I feel. And I just feel like that's very identifiable to the American woman.
That's okay, but scroll.
Okay, I get how you're feeling, except that this is the situation, though. And when you scroll through that big old little long list of your problems, that's what this was.
Yeah, but I'm super glad he doesn't need to be wasting anyone's time on it, and I'm glad he took that stance.
Me too. And I'm sure they just like responded K.
Yeah. If only.
Speaking of K. So the new news, we're moving on from impeachment because I'm bored. AOC's bored.
That's true. She told her constituents this week that she's very bored by the whole impeachment process and she wishes that it would just be over with so she could get on to her whole new society revolution or whatever it is that she's calling it. The world order that I think involves us not traveling by plane and me not being allowed to eat cheeseburgers. So I'm not on board with it.
It's a pass. Though AOC and I actually have a ton in common, both being incredibly well-dressed and very bored by impeachment.
That's fair. You guys are basically
relatable.
The same person.
The same. So, but in the news, Turkey is going to war with the Kurdish in Syria.
About the same amount as they ever have been, I'm sure.
All the time. Donald Trump has withdrawn or is moving to withdraw troops from Syria, which is something that he promised in the campaign.
Yeah, I'm a big non-interventionist. It's one of the things I felt very happy with Trump about, like, the whole time, even when I wasn't such a Trump supporter. And this is another promise made, promise kept. He said he would do this. He said it was happening, and now it's happening. And all of the reporters who never believed that he was going to do it are very upset with him now. And they are running into the arms of former Bush policy advisors, the ones that they hated for starting all those wars in the Bush administration that they protested with their lives. Now they love them and they trust them so much on foreign policy. And they were quoted as experts this entire week, which has just been hilarious.
Well, it's also funny because so the New York Times, as recently as 2017, took an opportunity to criticize Donald Trump because he chose to arm the Kurdish, even though the Turkish government asked us not to do that because they're not allies. But Donald Trump chose to do this anyway in the fight against ISIS. The New York Times ran an article that was so anti-Kurdish. It said that it reiterated repeatedly that Turkey is a NATO ally and basically said that Trump was a traitor for turning his back on a NATO ally, Turkey. And then they made sure to call the Kurdish terrorists on behalf of the Turkish government. And they referred to the Kurdish rule in Syria as a tightened noose on the Syrian government. So that is the New York Times position in 2017 on this brewing conflict. Donald Trump follows through on his campaign promises and chooses not to pick a side in a war of two allies, basically. And they're blowing up like this is, like he's a murderer, like he is responsible for the violence and the genocide, even though...
The conflict that's been a conflict forever.
If we had chosen a side, we would be responsible.
You know whose side that I've chosen, Steph? Mm-hmm. America's side.
I choose America's
side.
And
I think Donald Trump has chosen America's side, and it's about time that we put America first. And it's like so great to see all these reporters now. I think they're personally volunteering to stand on the front lines to fight
the Kurdish war.
Fight for the Kurds. I think that's what they're doing because they feel so strongly now that our men and women should be fighting and dying for that cause. So I think the entire editorial staff at the New York Times is about to head that way and fight that war. So, I mean, I'll wave an American flag for them.
Thank you for your service, New York Times.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Here's to you, serving for our country. Next is, it's one of my favorite. I'm so excited. So, some conservative activist, Jacob Wool, reported that he had a decorated Marine who's going to come out and tell us that he's 24 years old, that he's had an affair with Elizabeth Warren, the Pocahontas of the presidential race.
On a site that serves older women called Cowboys for Angels.
Cowboys for Angels.
Which I like. I think that's a good niche.
I've never wanted something to be more true in my life. Like, I've never wanted
I do
so
not.
badly.
I believe this story is probably fake news.
It's definitely fake news. But I mean, when they were supposed to have a press conference with the Marine to come out, of course, he never shows up. So it's like, for sure, fake news. But if I was Liz Warren's team, I would have planted it myself, okay?
Yes.
I get it.
She did respond. She had, like, a funny response.
So funny and likable. She apparently went to some school where the mascot was Cougars. So she goes... Go Cougars. Oh my God, so good, Elizabeth Warren.
I mean, I've checked out this kid's Instagram, and I say kid because he is several years younger than me.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Go Liz.
Yeah, apparently he's an amateur bodybuilder as well.
I could tell. Mm-hmm. I could tell.
Get it, Liz. I mean, if I was the Warren campaign, I would have come out and corroborated. Like, this is what happened.
Like, look, things happen. DC is a lonely place,
she's
okay?
lonely. She's successful and powerful. And, like, she can't help it.
Yeah, sorry. It happens. But that guy does live in DC, so, Steph.
Ooh.
We can maybe call him later. Maybe he'll see this. He'll see this, and he's going to come over later.
That's what's funny, though, because, like, 24 is just, like, it's, like, too young for me. I'm like, oof. Do you need to sign a permission slip? I don't know.
I mean, everyone should. So.
Oh, that's true.
Sad.
Written consent. We've wandered into dangerous territory here. And the next one, also a fave. So, this couple, the Barnetts, they adopted a Ukrainian orphan from Florida. They claim, the Daily Mail reported that this orphan was not a child. She was actually an adult with dwarfism. And that's what we've all been hearing for like the last month, right? Or so. Well, this week, it comes out. As it turns out, the orphan is definitely a child. And the hospital and the police did a bunch of bone density tests on her to check this. And so these crazy parents just like adopted this kid, made up this elaborate story about this Russian girl being an orphan assassin who tried to kill them by bleaching their coffee and pushing them into electric fences. And she's just a kid, and they abandon her, and they leave her alone in an apartment.
That's how you know she was not an adult, she was a child, because those are very amateur ways to poison someone. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. It's not even how you would do it.
No.
Obviously, it's a adrenaline and a syringe, and you hit them, it's a heart attack.
Has she never listened to any good murder podcasts? Like, come on.
She's not even trying. And clearly, she has not been reading the papers for all the Clinton murders, which have been impeccable, actually. So, I mean, obviously, the girl is not very well researched. But it turns out she's a kid, and it's just, this story is so insane because, twist, the family has a biological son who is a physics prodigy. And, like, in the news prior to all of this, if you Google their family, David Barnett is the kid's name, he's just like, he's like a physics whiz. He's only 12. He's already at university. And
so, like, maybe they ditched this kid for, like, not excelling to the same...
I don't know. They've, like, tapped him already for Nobel Prizes.
I mean...
It's crazy. It's a crazy
but...
story. The whole thing is insane. I'll be following it very closely. But the Russian assassin orphan, which was also the plotline of a horror movie, turns out she was just a regular kid from Russia.
Yeah.
But that doesn't...
They're not all assassins.
Well... She might have still been an assassin, but she's not 22. So.
Crazy story.
Story's been broken.
So weird.
All right, we're on to our righteousness porn.
Oh, it's a good week for it.
It's a big week for it.
I think the biggest story this week is what everyone heard is Ellen DeGeneres had the nerve to sit next to George W. Bush in their fancy box suite at the Cowboys game. And that was just too much for social justice warriors because George Bush sucks, and they did not want to see that. And this is also, I would like to point out, a great reminder to Never Trumpers that liberals hated your president too. I think that maybe everyone forgot that people hated George Bush, and unfairly so, the same way that they hate Donald Trump. And this was a good reminder of that.
Oh, it's a good reminder for Never Trumpers that they also hate you.
Yeah.
George W. Bush is a Never Trumper.
Yeah.
He is a never
They
Trumper.
hate you. It does not matter that you stood against the current president of the United States. They still think your president sucks, and you suck. So
when I first heard this, I actually thought that it was fake. I thought it was a fake news segment, not an SJW segment, because I heard like people outrage over Ellen's friendship with George W. Bush. I was like, there was not. This is just a way of complimenting Ellen because she's like the darling of the left, right?
But she came out and she said something. She said like the nicest thing that has been retweeted by like basically everybody I know, even the liberals. So I'll give like my liberal friends credit. That's like, this is not about, not everything is about politics. You should be kind. Like the basic is that you should be kind to one another.
Well, she concludes all of her episodes of her show by saying, be kind.
Yes. So it's so sweet. Like there's nothing, even if you don't like Ellen, everyone loves Ellen. But
everyone
like if you don't
Ellen.
like George Bush, like it's nice. Okay, be kind to one another, basic standard. There's nothing to take about that. But the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, he had something to say about that.
Oh, Mark. So Mark Ruffalo tweets this like diatribe about how you cannot give kindness to somebody because to George W. Bush because he's responsible for the Iraq War, and there's a lot of bloodshed in the Iraq War, and it was wrong. It's like, Mark, you're going to say this after what you did in Sokovia?
Yeah. Very
Can't even get control of your rage problems, just breaking in buildings, killing innocent civilians.
Lots of property damage as the Hulk, Mark.
It's just completely irresponsible.
A little self-righteous for someone who's damaged so many cars.
And I'm still waiting for an apology for how he treated Jenna Rink in 13 Going on 30.
Yeah. I just think it's a funny reminder. Also, Mark Ruffalo did not speak out in favor of Trump withdrawing from Syria. So thanks, Mark Ruffalo, for your consistency. Hating George Bush, never going to stop. But anti-intervention, no. He's not consistent on that at all.
Well, what's actually funny, too, I never like to pit my two loves against each other, George W. and Donald J. Trump. But they're not friends. I mean, Donald J. Trump once called George W. Bush a coward because of how he handled the Iraq War. He is anti-Iraq War. He has actually been on the record anti-Iraq War for a long time.
Always.
So it's so funny, like, oh, okay, Mark Ruffalo, Susan Sarandon, so like we're pro-Trump war policy then because he's been against your boy George W. for a long time. In fact, George W.'s actually BFFs with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is the criticism for Hillary Clinton being best friends with George Bush?
They were all anti-war until Trump was anti-war. Now
they're Ellen out there. She's not even friends with them. I mean, they like went to the baseball game.
Yeah, they like sat next to each other, and that was too much. It's a funny reminder. There's no like winning.
There's no winning with these guys. You cannot trust them.
Fun.
It's not fun. Actually, Reese Witherspoon, the amazing from the movie that never gets old, Sweet Home Alabama. She actually tweeted something supporting Ellen because Reese has a very positive brand. She has a lot of positive movies and books that she endorses. So she kind of tweeted to support Ellen, but she deleted it because the SJWs are so crazy. And it's not fun. It's not fun to be out there.
No, but like, what was her? I didn't see her tweet of support, but what was it like? Ellen's right. You should be kind, and she was like, "Oh, right, that's too controversial.
Well,
Let
I think
me
she
take it down."
got so attacked. She was like, you know what? I'm out. It's not a good time. It's not a party anymore. It's not fun.
It's a party for me when people attack me on stupid stuff, so send it my way. If
come
I
at
ever
us.
tweet
I don't
something
care.
as innocent as like, yeah, be kind to one another, and liberals attack me, I'm never taking that down.
I mean, this is literally like what they're attacking. They're attacking Ellen being like, you should be kind to people. And they're like,
I would
no.
retweet every hate message and be like, this is exactly what the left does. And I do retweet my hate messages very frequently.
And that's the situation. So we're moving on to favorite MAGA moment or tweet. Oh, no, I skipped one. I'm sorry. We also have the Minneapolis mayor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Jacob Frey, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because he's very low energy and I can't keep
How would
track.
I know? Am I from Minneapolis?
So
I am not.
Trump is planning a big rally in Minneapolis, and the mayor had released like a couple weeks ago this like self-righteous letter that was like, I cannot stop the president from hosting a rally in our town, but I would like to say that like he does not stand for our values and that we are like much better people than him, and he's like a homophobic misogynist who hates anyone who isn't white. So like ridiculous statement, but he released it and I was like, okay, glad that's out there. Now he's going to host a rally in Minneapolis and bring a bunch of money to your city, so it's probably going to be fine. But no. Now he is saying that the Trump campaign owes the city of Minneapolis like $500-something thousand for security, and that's what it's going to cost them to secure the Trump event. And at the same location, just a couple years ago, Obama hosted a rally, and they charged the Obama people $20,000. So actually, I don't get the game here. It's clearly like extortion, but are you willing to extort the Trump campaign at the price of, yes, everyone in my entire city wants to harm the president of the United States so much that our security is costing $500,000? Like, is that is actually what you're saying by saying that the security costs that much?
I know. I mean, they're basically implying that everyone's just like rabid animals out there.
Yeah, like Minneapolis is just roaming with people who want to assassinate the president.
Just gonna kill everyone. That's what's gonna happen. Minneapolis is like Gotham City.
It's actually ridiculous. And Trump had tweeted something that said like, "This is extortion. Like, Minneapolis needs to vote out vote in a new mayor." And he like retweets it self-righteously like, no, in Minneapolis, we're all neighbors and we love each other. It's like, unless our neighbors are Trump supporters, then they're homophobic, misogynist, xenophobes. Don't keep preaching love when you're actually like yelling at anyone who disagrees with you.
He's allowed to come here. It's like, correct. That is what free speech is.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for letting him. Thank you for that, though.
It's also a huge economic stimulus to local businesses because not everybody that goes to a rally in Minneapolis is from Minneapolis. So, like, they will travel from other, like, the suburbs or whatever.
Paul.
And they will...
That's a Minnesota joke, so Minnesotans got that one.
And they'll go spend money at local restaurants or stores or coffee shops. And this is a good, like... It's a great thing for local businesses, and he's actually trying to deny them that. And I think that makes him a terrible mayor. And he should be voted out.
Me too. Agreed. Boo. All right, now it's favorite MAGA moment or Trump moment, whatever he does. He actually has a new TV ad out. I just saw it the other day, in the wake of impeachment. That's like it's like highlighting impeachment efforts, highlighting the left's attempt to overthrow the will of the people. And it has like Joe Biden in it talking.
Video footage.
Footage. And Joe Biden says, if the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Biden is at a 2018 Council on Foreign Relations event. And he says, well, son of a bitch, he got fired. Like, this is about the Ukraine situation, right? So
this is an actual...
That's what we see footage of him saying.
A quid pro Joe.
Quid pro Joe.
A quid pro Joe, as President Trump said.
He said
he actually threatened to withhold money if a foreign government did not do what he said.
I mean, that's in the words of Joe Biden himself.
Yes.
No one has accused him of this. He's admitted to it, bragged about it, which is what Trump says to the Ukrainian prime minister. He says, Joe's out here bragging about it.
Yeah.
And that is what happened.
And this is ironically like what President Trump is accused of, but has never actually done.
And what's so funny is that the non-biased site factcheck.org did a fact check on this, which is, by the way, hilarious. Even doing a fact check on a campaign ad at all is like, okay. But regardless, they did. And they went to lengths to discredit this ad, even though it's literally a quote of, it's like Joe Biden saying it, a video clip of him saying it.
Unless you're coming out to say this video is fake, there's no way to.
Right, but they don't say that. They like quote all these other people saying that's not what happened. It's like Joe Biden himself says that is what happened.
He said it's what happened.
So regardless of whether or not it is what occurred, it's like.
So you're calling Joe Biden a liar.
He was clearly bragging about something that wasn't true. Or this is what happened. So it's so
either
funny.
way, it's damning.
They went to lengths to try to discredit the video clip of Joe Biden. Like, it's him saying it.
It's hilarious.
It was really funny. I love when they get frazzled.
It's a great ad. I don't know who did that ad, but it is amazing.
Good. Just love when the fact check people get so frazzled. Yeah. They're like, no, we can't let, this will not stand. And this is now we're on to best stuff from the campaign side. So we've got, first of all, Bernie Sanders had a heart attack in Las Vegas while I was there. He probably just saw our podcast.
Yeah, I think that was it.
We
have that effect on Bernie Sanders specifically.
But actually, he's fine. He's much better.
Yeah.
And he came out with this video, and he used his heart attack for his campaign. And he's like, this is the reason we need universal health care. It makes no sense, but it doesn't matter. Mad respect to Bernie for just being like, everything is a campaign moment.
Everything
is a campaign moment.
Never waste a good tragedy.
Never waste a good crisis.
Yeah.
Respect to you.
My favorite moment of the week, Kamala Harris, in her never-ending attempt to be hip, sent a fundraising email that was actually like ended up on a Joe Biden attack, but it started off as like, have y'all heard of TikTok?
Have y'all heard of TikTok?
Have y'all. She said y'all. And this was sent from like, I will only respect her campaign for not sending this in Kamala's name. They sent it in the name of a staffer. That is the only saving grace of this entire story. But the thing starts off like, have y'all heard of TikTok? It's like my favorite thing to do to calm down. TikTok is an app used primarily by people from like 14 to 18 years old. And I don't really think it's connecting with the probably 50-year-old donors that they're hoping to reach with this email.
Also, TikTok's kind of old, so it's not even fresh.
It's not even
for
new.
The young people.
It's actually, it was just the funniest thing, and it's so Kamala. It's like Kamala saying that she got high and listened to Snoop Dogg when Snoop Dogg did not have a record at the time that she says she listened to him. Just this never-ending attempt to be cool, and
hello,
she's not.
Fellow youth.
Yeah, hello. So sad, Kamala. I did not like it. Not well done. Sad.
Low
exclamation
energy.
point.
Don't like it. Well, that's all, kids. And we definitely want to hear from you guys on your favorite stories and your tweets. And just remember, when you watch news and you think, what the FPF?
Send it to us.
We got you.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Till
Bye.
next time.